Okay. Cool. So, how's it going, everybody? I'm Ian from Gun Gamers. Can you guys hear me? You should be able to. Um,
I hope at this point.
I hope so. So we've got Joe, and we're going to have Dan back at some point. He's taking a sweet ass time getting back in the call.
I am.
Oh, he's back in the
He's
call.
back.
Oh, there we go.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say something
it lagged me out that time too. It's getting like extra shitty today.
terrible.
It's because you need me, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
The internet
Hey.
gods know.
Anyway, good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well in this time of insanity.
It's going,
I
man.
think this one's a tiny bit improv, right? We're just gonna kind of bounce around for some shit, read the
Yeah.
chat log, see if we can get some topics going, that kind of thing. Dan is frozen again, so you get this.
Yeah,
Really
everything's
cool.
frozen.
Dan,
Get
get
this
better
really cool-
internet, you poor.
I'm connected to my internet and I pay for good internet, but apparently they've decided, since Canadians basically socialist, to dock my internet and give me much slower download speeds in
Well, that's why you
favor
got-
of giving.
You gotta start docking with the internet company.
Yeah, that's what I gotta do. I'll leave a call and come back. I don't know what the fuck to do. It's
Alright.
being silly.
Already.
Okay, make sure you turn off all the porn streaming in the background. You need to close all
Yeah,
your
yeah, I'm
tabs out.
gonna give it a shot. I'll see what I
Okay.
can come up with.
You like so Green Grenadier says in chat that my computer case is very distracting. Do you like that? Do you like all of the RGB?
Oh, I love the RGB right now. I just hate that it's in like the background of the shot and probably like partially. There you go.
All right, here we go.
Anyway, so I guess we were talking about this earlier. This was sort of like not a last minute
Well,
thing.
first things first. Wait, hold on a second. What
All
are we
okay,
drinking tonight, Joe?
I'm gonna make fun of for this one, but it's super tasty because my wife came up with it. So it is 2 shots of orange cream liqueur with pineapple juice
Okay.
and some cherry juice and cherries in the bottom, and the pineapple juice slightly curdled the cream liqueur, but not in a bad way. It makes it taste like a creamsicle now.
We call it the rip and tear.
That's the bottom part of it. That's that red stuff down the bottom.
Excellent.
Oh,
I
it
am
looks like you
drinking
just- you-
Three Heads Brewing the King India Pale Ale.
Good stuff. Very good brewery.
It's very good. It is
Alright.
very, very good. So, starting off, I know you wanted to talk about the new Resident Evil remaster,
Yeah.
remake. What exactly is it?
It's a total remake, a total remaster, or whatever you want to call it. So this
Okay.
is following the theme that back in, oh my god, I was in late high school. I think 2005, 2006, Resident Evil remade Resident Evil 1, the original game
Yeah.
on GameCube, and it was amazing, phenomenal. What they did was, this is going to be the theme of a lot of what we're going to talk about. What they did was they built it from the ground up, right? Brand
Yes.
new graphics, brand new engine,
Mhm.
and they modernized it in the sense that they kept a lot of the jump scares that were iconic, the dogs jumping through the window.
Mhm.
For those of you that don't know Resident Evil, which at least you might have heard of it, whether it's that garbage movie series or the game series.
Oh god,
it's-
the movie
it's
series
zombie
is so
outbreak.
good.
We don't
It's a
speak of
zombie
the
out-
movies here.
Anyway, except for the animated movies. The animated movies are great. So anyway,
That's
yeah,
fair.
like it's a zombie game, monsters, everything else like that. It's survival horror. And they remade the first game and it was phenomenal, and they kept that trend going. While they were making the new Resident Evil games, which after 7 was good. Let's ignore 5 and 6 for a little bit.
Yeah, 5 and 6. Oh, dude. Oh god, what was the
It's
guy's
just-
name?
they kept
Chris
it-
Redfield's
Capcom-
gigantic synthol arms. Holy shit, fucking huge, dude.
I had some fun with 5, but we'll get into that later.
There was the multiplayer. They introduced co-op in that, and
Yeah.
that made the fun. That made it the fun. But anyway, so Resident Evil 2 was remade only like a year and a half ago. It wasn't that long ago that game was remade again from the ground up, same style as the first one, and it was phenomenal. They kept enough nostalgia from the first game, but changed it so that repeat players coming back to it 20 years later would have
Yeah.
fresh new material. And that's exactly what they did for Resident Evil 3. It just came out last night, early this morning. I had bought it and installed it and played it, when I got up this morning. And it's great. It doesn't pull punches. It starts off about a third of the way through the original game. I don't want to do any spoilers or anything else, but they have not been hiding the fact that the Nemesis is the forefront of this game.
Yeah.
They start you off toe to toe with this fucker. This game is much more actiony than the original because of how
Okay.
they've changed how the gameplay is. But it has all the survival horror elements come in with jump scares and inventory management. You have limited ammo. You have limited healing supplies. If you know safe rooms aren't quite safe anymore, That's just a warning, not a deal, not a spoiler. Safe rooms aren't necessarily always safe anymore. So they changed it up. I'm having a blast with it right now. It already threw me to the point where I actually had to take a break because there were these monsters called brain suckers, and they overhauled how they work. It's terrifying. I don't like it. It made me squeamish. It made me uncomfortable. It did its job 100%. If you are a Resident Evil fan or a fan of horror games or survival horror, 100% buy Resident Evil 3. We are not a paid. This is not a paid plug. Buy this game. It's awesome. You'll have a great time with it. You'll probably be freaking out the entire time.
Shitting your
Now,
pants.
That being said, there's something that immediately caught my eye. Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and part of Code Veronica take place in the early 90s. It's like 1993, 1994, 1995, somewhere in that range. At the time, it was actually in the years that the game were made. And there's an aesthetic that I love about that, which is the early 90s Midwestern cop aesthetic. It's the cops that are borderline mountain rangers, borderline police officers, which is where STARS Special Forces came from. These are the guys that were doing special operations. You know, they were in a SWAT team, but they were really good at doing like aerial rescues in the mountains. And so they got a little bit more flexibility in the gear. They're like the hot shots of the police department. Well, something that happened in Resident Evil 2 and carried into Resident Evil 3 remake is they modernized things a little bit. Like Jill was a STARS officer, and all the STARS officers had these custom M9s that were
the Berettas. Oh, they're so fucking ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
But they were custom. The slide was cut differently. They had stars and bezel. Like they brought up the edge of the slide over the barrel a little bit to fit the STARS logo. Like it was really cool. And don't touch your face, kids, as I'm like doing the awkward face touching thing. So that's gone. Jill is given a Glock at the beginning of the game.
Gross.
And I'm like, where's my STARS pistol? Damn it! And I'm hoping that you get it in the game. I don't know yet. I haven't spoiled it. I'm hoping that when you get to the police station in the game, you finally or it'll pick up her personal sidearm.
So we're gonna have an additional guest right quick. Your boy Garrett.
Oh boy!
Oh!
He's gonna join at some
If he
point.
jumps in.
Is
I'm
he?
adding him right now.
Okay.
You
see
guys
if
can
he
hear
jumps
me,
I'll
right?
keep talking in the
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you're
Okay, just making sure.
But yeah, no. So that aesthetic of the game has been changed slightly because they sort of modernized.
Hey,
it a
there
little
we
bit,
go.
So you might have. Yeah. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Oh, there he
You
is.
in a,
Oh Jesus
What
Christ!
you in a hot minute.
Switch.
That
Oh,
light is way washing me out.
one
That's
second.
right. It's either your light. Oh, that background picture. Perfect. I don't know who that is.
There we go.
but that is
Fuck.
lovely.
Fuck.
I think it's Alexander. I think it's Alexander the Great.
No. Come on.
Did lead a lot of people. Anyway, so yeah, the aesthetic changed a little bit. Like, you know, they have more modern things that you see creeping into the game that's supposed to take place in the 90s, and I get it and I understand it. It stood out to somebody who like really loved that original, going back and replaying the Resident Evil games and enjoying that time period. Not to say that it's off-putting. Like if you've never played the games before, you're not gonna give a shit. But for like if you're someone who watches a movie or plays a video game and notices something a little bit off about gear or guns, like artists, you know, taking things, it'll stand out immediately. Like Carlos is wearing like a plate carrier that clearly looks like it's from the, you know, modern time plate carrier. It's not something you would have seen back in the 90s where they
It
would
looks like a
set up ballistic
JPC
vests.
or something.
Yeah, kind of. And you're not, you know, normally they'd be wearing body armor with a vest over it, right? So it's stuff like that stands out. It doesn't matter. It's cool. I'm just, you know, it was a sore point for me. But yeah, recommend that game highly. And subsequently, now my Airsoft shopping carts may or may not be filled with a bunch of Resident Evil themed guns now.
Oh Jesus.
You gotta buy the $500 double upper Desert
Fuck
Eagle
that.
from TM.
Fuck that. Yeah,
Come
TM.
on.
If you don't know, TM Tokomori has had a series of they got the rights, being in Japan. They got the rights to from Capcom to do licensed guns, which were limited release, usually on Rebel Airsoft. I hardly ever saw them anywhere, but those are worth hundreds of dollars now. It was like it was
very, very pricey.
yeah, it's like Chris Leon's Resident, the original Resident Evil 2 Desert Eagle, and like a 10-inch version of it, but it
They've
had
got
like a
the
wood grip and
M9 as
Sharpness
well,
logo.
the Biohazard
Yeah,
version, or whatever the fuck they call it.
The Biohazard, yeah. Well, so that's the funny thing is WE released Burton's like the 3-round burst super customized Samurai Edge,
Yeah.
as well as the original M9. Well, you can get those still, but if you want Barry Burton's revolver, that's one of the super rare ones.
Ooh.
A 357 Magnum revolver, and that Desert Eagle, and I think they made something else. Oh, the weird SIG
The P
thing.
virus.
P virus
The P
Ooh.
virus.
from
Ooh.
whatever.
Yeah, I don't know
yeah.
why.
But so they are themed guns you can get. You can actually do a cosplay or an impression kit based off the Stars kits, which again hard like flight vests and wood furniture shotguns. I mean we're hitting close to my home here with this. So
do you want to know something that I've noticed lately as far as like my gear tastes have been? Oftentimes I want to be like, I want to get something from like the early 2000s.
Yep.
well, for the guys in the chat, Dan, you probably would know this. You saw this. We didn't get a chance to play with them.
Okay.
But I bought a GHK 14.5-inch gas blowback version 2 M4.
Yeah,
Nice.
Specifically,
it's real
because
interesting.
Going back to and it's all 1.5 block. It's
Yeah.
old school.
Oh shit.
Not 2000s SOCOM.
Yeah.
Early gen. Because I love that
Nice.
classic aesthetic. I threw an
It's a
ACOG
cool.
on it.
Yeah, it's cool as fuck.
Did you, Joe? Did you see that upper I bought?
I did not. Did you buy an upper?
Give me 1 second.
Anyway, what do you
I
guys
gotta
been
go get it
playing?
out of
You guys
safe.
been playing a ton of Modern Warfare lately, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, you've been.
Like a terrifying amount of Modern Warfare to the point where I think I've actually become a 16-year-old kid again at this point.
So
lots of yelling at people's moms, that sort of thing.
I've slept with everyone's mom at this point.
So the greatest game that has come out in the last like 3 weeks has been Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. I don't know if you guys played the Mountain Blade like Warband or the original Mountain Blade games, but holy shit, I've been waiting like a solid 8 or 9 years for Bannerlord. It finally came out, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm clearing my schedule for the next 3 or 4 days. I have dumped like 14 hours into it over the last like 2 days, which that's a lot. But if you look at Kaylee, she's also a huge Bannerlord fan. She has. Actually, let me check her Steam right now, because she bought it the same day I did, and she now has something fucking outrageous in it, like... Let's find out.
So here's the another thing with this, right? Like Modern Warfare, right? Modern Warfare. I'm not gonna spoil how many hours she got.
Kaylee has 35 hours since April 3rd.
Double time.
Yeah,
Wow.
or 35 hours since April 1st. Good lord.
Some of that
It was only like 34 hours ago.
Yeah.
Some of that I'm sure was a pause menu where she just paused it, went to sleep, woke up, kept playing.
She's really
So-
liking it.
So, I'm not. Most people have played Modern Warfare at this point. I'm not really going to be spoiling the story too much. But Modern Warfare is actually technically a prequel. The new Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's
I can see
great.
that.
It's funny because it's the same thing that happened with Resident Evil 3. There's some modernization in there.
Yeah.
Some of those guns didn't exist.
The
at
Comtac
that
Force,
Yeah.
right?
and shit like that, yeah.
Nothing
Fucking
alike.
goofy
And-
contact force.
And it's you know what though, it's creative licensing, and it's creative, and we get to play with really fun guns. Garrett, it looks like you're gripping something very. Okay, you're gonna have to like
Oh.
de-blur a little bit, buddy. Like can't.
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah.
blurred the background.
like
Give me
me,
1 second.
yeah.
Boop. There we go.
All right. Looks
That
like
probably
a
says-
upper.
Oh,
That's
Ooh,
Yeah,
I like it.
Except,
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Oh,
can
that's-
see
that's a real
this
boy.
out there. This is a real one.
That's a real boy.
So this is a this I actually had built. I went to a gun show like before this whole craziness happened, and like the guy that was there, he had a 14.5-inch barrel. It's a Colt barrel. Let's see. It says 5.56 NATO 1 and 7 twists.
Yep, standard.
He got like I initially bought the rail system from him, so this is a real CAC M4 RAS. So
Aren't those
it's
like
what they
$350?
It's
sold it.
the cost
So-
of my entire M4 rifle setup.
Yeah, a lot of this was 5.
Garrett, let's not ruin this with cost. It's priceless. It's priceless. Let's just leave it at that.
Well,
It's
well
the
no, like
memories.
the total upper is 500.
Oh, that's not bad. Oh my god.
the 8 guy.
No,
or is
the
that
guy sold me the rail system for 80.
Oh, there you
Whew.
go. Yes, that was a
Shit.
steal.
Oh,
Yeah, and
shit.
the guy that I talked to, like, I was walking around, I saw somebody had like, a couple of people have the similar Chinese ones from UTG, and they had them for 60. And then I saw somebody that had a later model. This is actually, or no, an earlier model. This is a later one, because you know that because the screw that is used to
Yeah.
lock the rail system is in the front as opposed to the back.
Yeah.
Nerd alert. No, I've been putting
Also,
Garrett
1 second, I'll
constantly.
be back in a moment.
He is the most knowledgeable about any of the shit. For me, I would just throw the fucking the rail on there and been done with it. That's awesome, dude. So you're gonna be. So what are you rounding all that off with? You're just gonna birdcage it, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna birdcage it, but I'm gonna birdcage it with a BFA.
Okay, cool.
Oh, is that going to make its way to
This will be Task Force
Milsim
Tag.
West? Yeah.
I don't know. BFA stands for Blank Fire Adapter, and during Milsim West games, most Milsim West games, blank fire is allowed, which means Garrett will be loud boy for the entire of that game.
And it's not the first time I've run blanks. This
Mr. Grand.
the Grand was the first time. I took my 16-inch AR the second time, and then I would have taken my carbine and a 10.5-inch that I have as well, but with MSW
Garrett,
getting postponed,
Garrett was the overkill and overkill.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
there's I will say this, there's an Instagram video that still makes the rounds today about me shooting blanks and catching the empty clip out of the Grand in
Shot by
midair.
Jet. Yeah, I think
That's why the Garand should basically be the one you use, like, for every.
that got like
MSW.
80,000 views on Reddit. That got a lot of views on Reddit.
Yeah.
It has half 500,000 views on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Forget, oh my God, is that Eric from Gun Gamers? Oh my God, is that Garrett from Gun Gamers?
Oh my God, is that Garrett from
So
Milsim West
Garrett-
Insurgency?
Is that
Yeah.
Garrett from
Garrett gets
M1
like
Garand?
awesome. Garrett gets awesome snapshots of being famous because like he'll people find out he makes like a 200-yard tagging round shot. He shot Jet in the face with a tagging round. He shot
Yeah,
somebody
so-
else in the face with a tagging round. He caught a Garand ping clip in the air. I mean, like he does these. Like Garrett goes from like bursts of quiet to doing like one peak awesome thing and like spiking on Instagram and then going back.
And then you
a
don't
sleeper.
see me for like a year and a half.
Garrett's the ultimate badass.
Yeah, you
The
just don't do it.
closet, the
Yeah.
closet
Oh.
badass.
The
But yeah, no,
closet badass.
so- Bring it all back. Modern Warfare has a lot of modern guns in it that weren't available at the time, but they're good for the game, right? They're new, shiny. There's no reason not to include those.
I mean,
right?
I would have
Otherwise-
liked to see more like traditional spec weapons because the same as you, like 90s, early 2000s was kind of where I got into gaming and like gun media. So it's like,
Well, this is
some of
also
those-
their first. This is also their first return from doing like Infinite Warfare,
yeah,
or Black Ops. So I makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think that Modern Warfare fits the same winning category as the new Resident Evils. Meanwhile,
agree.
the remasters of Modern Warfare, the OG Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, are kind of trash because they're just reskins. They didn't get rid of any of the bugs or glitches that were original. They had an opportunity to refine it and actually make it even better than the originals. And basically all they did was just reskin the shit out of it and bring it up to a high resolution, which sucks. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna redo a game like that, like redo the game. It's a difference between doing a remaster and a re-release. Re-releases suck, typically, usually.
Yeah.
Well, and here's
It's-
like, unless
and-
the game was like timeless already, like
here's my opinion
it
of
hasn't
it.
aged
I'm
itself.
just going to interject here. The original Modern Warfare came out in 2009, and it was
years
re-released.
late.
No, the original one
Not
came
even-
out in 07. MW2 came out in 2009.
Oh, that's right. So it's been like 10-ish years when that was remastered, and now we've seen kind of the same-ish thing.
Yeah.
10 years isn't really that big of a jump.
Resident
especially-
Evil, the original Resident Evil was remade. I want to say that game came out in like '97, I think, and that was remade less than 10 years later. But that was a total overhaul. Resident Evil 2 and 3, we're talking 20 years
Yeah.
almost.
At
And
the same
it's a
time,
total
too,
mess.
like I bought a 360 in 2007, not because of Modern Warfare, but because of other games that I wanted to play. And I had that up until the PlayStation 4 released in 2014 or 2013, one of the two. So that wasn't like you went from the 360 to the PS4. Now at the same time, we're also reaching the end of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if it was a generation skip, like in 2016, Ratchet and Clank re-released,
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
and that was originally a PS2 game,
That was 2003,
Mm.
2002. Yeah.
So here's
Yeah.
the thing: is when you
significantly longer jump.
look at
And two console
original
generations.
Xbox. Look at original Xbox One and original PS4 games, and then look where they are now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the games that get released at the beginning of a console generation you see significant progress by the end of the console generation.
Yeah.
And I feel like I get what you're saying, Garrett, but in this situation, either wait for the next generation to come out and swoop in a remaster of a game, a real remaster of a game, not just a re-release. Or if you're going to wait to the end of a generation, do the best you can to actually like redo the game. You know what I mean? Like we're talking, they want us to pay full price, almost full price for a remake of a game. This is just a reskin for a game that I own twice. I own Modern Warfare 2 on my Xbox 360, which is somewhere in a box somewhere, and I own a remake. I own it on Steam, right? And now you want me to pay additional money to just do a reskin on it when honestly my brain is not really thinking about it.
What is the cost of Modern Warfare 2 remaster?
It's $20. $20 on PC, yeah.
Well, I mean, look at
Which
stuff
I can't
like
even play it for another month.
Look at what Grand Theft Auto 5 did.
Too.
Well, look at what Grand Theft Auto 5 did. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 originally came out on the PS3 and Xbox 360, and then immediately afterwards the PS4 and Xbox One came out. So they re-released it on the PS4 and Xbox One, and then a year later they released it on like the PC. And there was like a significant number of people who went ahead and bought it on all three versions.
Those fuckers suckered me into buying 3 versions of that game.
Yeah. It's
and
shit's
that's
ridiculous, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I get it. I get it. Especially for people that buy into a PC or buy like for example, Switch, right? I just bought a Switch. Love the damn thing.
They're great.
So my new job, just to give you a little background, has me on the road a lot. Obviously not right now. Currently I'm here. But before things popped off and after things finally do end and things go back to some sense of normalcy, I will be on the road a ton. Game Boy is great. My PS Vita is great. The Switch is its own ecosystem of a system to be playing with, right? And there are games that I have for PC that I would 100% rebuy for the Switch to just have that portability. You know what I mean? That I can almost understand between some of the console stuff that way. But even then, right?
But that's the thing, though, is the Switch isn't it's not like going from a PlayStation 3 to a PlayStation 4. It's still a home console.
Yeah.
Going from like an Xbox 360 game to being able to play it on the Switch adds a whole different level of playability of the game.
Right, which means you really do have to rebuild the game as well. It's a different. Yeah. It's a different. You're playing it. It's a difference between street hockey or ice hockey. You know what I mean? Like
or you miniaturize and you get one of these.
Oh, he's got one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
They're adorable. It's got the first Metal Gear Solid on it. That's all I care about. I bought it literally for Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, there you go. And that's another thing, right? When you have that's the other thing to talk about too is when you have a long span of games, right? Like Resident Evil has been around since 1997. That's a long fucking franchise, right? And they've had some not so good games, and they've had some absolutely stellar, phenomenal games. Call of Duty. Yeah. Call of Duty came out. When did the original Call of Duty, the World War II?
2003.
2003. Yeah, early 2000s. Yeah,
so, I'm gonna look it up.
Again, almost 20 years of a franchise. So you're gonna have wins, you're gonna have losses, but you don't expect to be able to keep remastering or re-releasing games.
Well,
you know what I mean?
With these bigger franchises like first-person shooters, they tend I mean, you could say Call of Duty, you could say Battlefield even, because they've evolved as the platforms. Yeah, as the platforms have continuously evolved with them. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the original Battlefield games, like Battlefield Vietnam, even 1942, Battlefield 2.
Man. Yeah. 1942, my computer couldn't run it, so I basically just had to minimize the number of bots, turn the graphics all the way down to 0, and play by myself. And I couldn't spawn like half the vehicles.
Oh, wow.
So
I was the first time I ever upgraded a computer was buying a new GPU to run that game.
Yeah. Well, and then you look at the jump between games like the generation between like Battlefield 2, which was released for like the early PlayStation, like early PCs, and then you move from Battlefield 2 to the Bad Company games. And Bad Company games are where you kind of first started to see that, what Battlefield is now with a massive multiplayer online first-person shooter. Yeah, and then you went from that to Battlefield Bad Company 2, which is still the greatest first-person shooter ever released, and then you have Battlefield 3. Call of Duty did the same thing. I mean, for like the first 3 games that they released, it was exclusively World War II shooters.
Right, and it's also to be said too. Like, there is only so much content you can do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you balance between Advanced Warfare and Black Ops and Infinite Warfare, were different genre takes. They branched out into different genres using. Okay, you can argue this to the cows come home. The idea was to use the core gameplay and what people liked about playing those games as physical gameplay and apply them to a new setting, which is fresh and new. It gives you a new perspective. Like Infinite Warfare. I loved Infinite Warfare for what it was, right? Just bleeding edge technology, gravity suits, gravity grenades.
There's only so many wars we've been in that you can cover.
Yeah. And that's
right. But and Call of Duty still hasn't touched Vietnam, for example.
No, they did Black Ops 2. Black Ops.
It didn't really do a lot of actual. It wasn't like a straight up Vietnam War.
Well, that's why you have Bad Company 2 Vietnam.
Right, and that's why
or
games
Rising
like
Storm.
Or Rising Storm.
Yeah.
Battlefield Vietnam.
Or Battlefield Vietnam.
Vietnam's great, but again, Battlefield Vietnam came out
Yeah.
in the middle, and it hit sort of a weird spot where a lot of PC games still weren't like as big as they are now. Like the PC world was still like a thing, but it was separate. You know what I mean? There were PC players and there were console players. Honestly, the greatest thing to come out of the past 5 years in gaming is, in my opinion, is Modern Warfare doing cross-platform as like a huge push.
Yeah,
that's
it's
one of my coworkers when I was working at FedEx. Him and I would do the 2-on-2 gunplay thing.
Gunfight?
Yeah, gunfight. Like, because on our days off, right? That's what we would do. And he's on Xbox and I'm on PC. Awesome, loved it. I would never be able to play with him otherwise. I want to see that in every game.
Yeah.
There is no longer a line between console and there hasn't been for a while.
I literally bought Matt Lutz's Xbox One, his old Xbox One, to give it to my brother so that my brother could play Sea of Thieves with me, because when it comes to PCs, I love my brother, but he gets really, really dumb. So like the crossplay on Modern Warfare is amazing because my brother's on PS4. I can communicate with him, no problem. I have issues with DirectX failing on PC for some reason because crossplay is giving it issues. But I've got Xbox friends. I've got PC friends.
We're still kind of in the
we're
still kind of in the infancy of crossplay, to where like for Call of Duty you need the Activision name and stuff like that. But it's really cool to see that now you'll have PlayStation or Xbox players can just plug a PC or like a mouse and keyboard directly into their console and be competitive.
That's to say how smoothly it works, given how recent it is.
Which means that every shooter, every major game we're going to see now. The MMOs have been doing this for years. Like Final Fantasy 11 had crossplay between PC and PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
that was PlayStation 2. So, and that was like one of the two games that used the modem.
I think Portal did as well. I'm pretty sure Portal had crossplay as well.
I wouldn't even know. That's great, but it like. Modern Warfare proved that not only does it work, but it's profitable. So you're going to see a shit ton of games coming out. Now, every major shooter coming out, for sure, anything with a multiplayer, you're going to see. If they come out with a Left 4 Dead game, guaranteed you'd see crossplay.
I don't think you're going to see another Left 4 Dead game for a while. Well, actually, with Half-Life Alyx coming out, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so as long as it's not VR.
But that's the thing is, though, you are going to start seeing crossplay become a predominant, which is awesome. Now, I don't know about you guys, but like this gaming spike right now is for unfortunate reasons, but everybody's gaming right now. I'm getting massive lag on everything because everybody in Southern Connecticut is online and gaming and playing Modern Warfare and everything else. Right? Warzone came out, so Warzone's been dominating for a long time. But like, we're now seeing funding and influx. Like developers are making a ton of money right now.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't know if you know her, but The Last of Us 2 has been indefinitely delayed.
That's big sad.
It's huge sad because they don't have the crew to continue working on the game and they're not putting their people at risk. And they said, we're going to shelf it. We'll come back to it later. We're not giving you a date. It's upsetting, but it makes sense. And it's smart. It's them being a good business. You know what I mean? Like it sucks, but they identify they're not going to be able to finish it. And they don't want to promise us something that we're not going to get.
Okay, quick thing. Someone asked, did they delay that?
It's up in the air.
Oh shit!
We'll see what happens. They're all European. Europe isn't even more a lockdown than the United States is. And CG Projekt Red is European, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
Czech.
Swedish or some shit. Czech, yeah. Actually, no, Croatian, right?
Pardon?
It might be Croatian or Czech, one of the two.
I'm pretty sure they're Czech.
So, quick thing. Someone in the chat, they donated money, so I'm just gonna answer their question anyway. Any more independent or opinions on Scottish independence? Well. No. I don't know, man. If they want to be free, then let them be free. But if it comes down to the votes, man, if popular vote wants it, cool. If the popular vote doesn't want it, also cool. I'm in the U.S. We had our Civil War 150 years ago. Like
it was Polish.
It's Polish.
Brand is
Gotcha.
Polish. Yeah, that's my bad.
Was someone grilling you about Scottish independence last time? Did I miss something?
No, yeah, they donated like £2 or something like that, and they wanted to know our opinion on it. And
Is it the same
so
person
you're
that
asking a
donated
trucker
£2 this
to
time,
have an
too?
opinion on something they don't drive.
If I don't hold a steering wheel and shift them gears, I don't give a fuck.
So the current release date is September 17th.
Yeah, I would not hold your breath on
Well,
that, to be honest with you.
so I think that what they're doing with Cyberpunk is they said that you already are able to play the game from start to finish with no major issues. I think what they're doing is sort of working out the remainder of the bugs so it can be perfect on
Oh, yeah,
launch.
they're polishing.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's
polishing.
gotten to the point where it's polished enough to be released. However, they're kind of sitting on it to see if and continuously playtesting it to see if anything else comes up.
Well, with The Witcher 3 as their pedigree, like they kind of
Have to, yeah.
Yeah,
If they
no,
release a
they're-
bugged out game,
Yeah.
September should be far enough along that the world status should, somewhat level out a little bit. So they may tweak that a little bit, but you're right, Ian. It may be that like they might do a slightly later release just based on where it's at. But if everything is pretty much stabilized and everyone's kind of like back to quote unquote normal, we'll probably see it then. If that's true, that if
Boy,
they've
I
gotten
hope
to that
so.
point. Because I've been waiting for Cyberpunk for way too long.
Yeah, I was
way.
sad when that announced its first delay.
At least you guys aren't Metroid fans like I am.
Oh, God.
man.
Bastard. We are. What are you
Sorry for
talking
your
about?
loss.
Still waiting for Prime 4.
Rip.
But yeah,
Which-
cool. So
We're not gonna
unfortunately, I
see
think
that
we can all
until
agree that the
June.
airsoft season is done. I don't think we're gonna be seeing any games until late August, September, October at the earliest if we're lucky. I
I
think the
think we're
airsoft
going to
season
see
for the
stuff
summer.
in June. I think
It's
I
gonna be
think,
dead, man.
I'm hoping that they at least things lighten up to the point where Desolation 2 can happen or 3 can happen, but it's June, isn't it? It's June or July? June.
yeah,
think
it's
they
the
said
first weekend in
June.
June.
Yeah, which I guess that might be close.
The only thing I worry about is if we have a second major spike, which can happen, and if that does
Hashtag
happen,
flatten the
happen right
curve.
around that time.
Well, keep in mind
We'll
how
have
long
a-
the Spanish flu lasted. It's what, 1919 to 1921?
But the Spanish flu,
gonna
they didn't
say-
have fucking airplanes. Like the infection spread is vastly different for this. Don't
Mhm.
compare it to that. It's a totally different animal. Unfortunately, I personally accepted the airsoft season's dead this year. I've sat back on my haunches doing repairs and saving up some money to buy some stuff, which is now all delayed. VFC was releasing 3 fucking guns that I was going to buy, and now their company is they released that letter. If you go to their website, there's a letter that pops up saying, hey, we're not going to any shows, we're slowing down production. Like, they're being honest,
Yeah.
which blows. But at the same time, it gives me time to save up a little bit of money, so I can just instead of buying that gas blowback FAL and like 8 mags, I could buy that gas blowback FAL 10 mags and like all of the accessories.
Oh my God. Oh my. Blow your back out. Carry around the weight of an AEG M240 Bravo. Freaking mags.
I'm carrying saws. I've been carrying saws since I was shorter than this height. Okay.
That's fair.
I'm fine carrying machine guns.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the other thing too. Is like that's what I've committed to. I know I will. If AMS goes forward, I will be there. Given the situations, like I'm still excited. I'm hoping things happen, but I'm kind of accepting.
Oh, Jesus.
This year's probably not going to happen. Or it's going to happen very limited at the end of the year.
Or
Yeah,
later here.
every reenactment
Soggy,
event
thanks
that
for
I
the
was
Twitch
supposed
Prime
to
sub.
go to
Thank you.
has been canceled.
Look at you,
Yeah,
giddy
it's
motherfucker!
rough.
Thanks for the Twitch Prime stuff.
No, I don't even care about the money. I just giggle every time the notification plays. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's fucking hilarious.
Oh,
No, I'm watching the YouTube.
is it real?
It'll
dumb? I'm
it'll
hoping
play
it's-
on the YouTube. It's
Oh,
the
right.
"I'm rich,
I'm not-
bitch" soundbite
I'm
from
rich, bitch.
"I'm rich, bitch" from Dave from the
There you
Chappelle Show with my neat face with the nods on. It's best. It is best.
Nice.
Oh, hey, we can talk about this because it hasn't come up yet. Ian, our old buddy Ray, and Eric
Yes.
came to visit me in Connecticut to go play Ground Zero Airsoft
For the hee-haw.
for the hee-haw. We're not going to talk too deep about the hee-haw, but God, we have what I think it was a total of 8 or 9 people, counting
Yeah,
everybody.
something like that. It was a lot of people.
Something like that.
Didn't have me.
We partied in New Haven. And I think one of us got banned from the city. Whatever. And then we went to play airsoft, and it was great because honestly, it was just nice, solid shitball.
Yeah, it was
just
awesome. I had a great time.
Get out there and getting trigger time, and that's the first and last time I played airsoft this year, and it makes me so fucking
I'm
sad.
so incredibly jealous.
Dude, I
It
haven't
was-
even
So jealous.
played since October.
Dude, this
Airsoft
adulting
and
shit
bags of
sucks.
shit.
I hate this. I just want to go. I just
Yeah.
want to go shoot in the woods with my friends or get shot
I
at
asked-
by my friends. You know,
I even
I'm
asked
fine
my
with
local guys because there's only usually like maybe 6 or 7 that show up to a game. Like, are we playing airsoft this weekend? Or are we social distancing? They're like, no, we're social distancing. I'm like, fuck you all. Like the last game I got was a Warzone, or is it Buffalo Warzone? Like 3 days before they closed the borders.
Yeah,
I got
Well, that's-
super lucky because
that's
it was
been
like
that
a
was
mini
after
hee-haw.
I played. So you're the most
Yeah.
recent player. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex. I guess Alex had to go to Buffalo or something for some stuff. So a bunch of the Buffalo guys. be like,
some bullshit. You know what?
yeah, it's some
Uh,
stupid. To see me, that's what I'm gonna think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess what have you guys been doing to keep busy aside from have you now if your honest answer is I've just been gaming, that's fine. I don't know about the three of you. I'm qualified as essential. I do repairs on medical devices, so I'm a super essential. We got a person who does freight shipping, which is 100% essential.
Yeah, I'm essential.
YouTubers
Oh, I'm still working.
still working in? Are
Yeah.
you?
Uh,
So I was moving from one job to another. After I got laid off in December, I came home and started looking for another job, and I was going to move down to McLean, Virginia for that intelligence job. But DoD put out a travel ban memo in like early March that basically does not allow me to go down to McLean until May 11th at the earliest. And
You're on contract right now.
well, I'm kind of stuck because not only do they have to do that, but they have to do additional security vetting for the job itself. So I'm just kind of fucking stuck until that shit happens. And I know for a fact they're on skeleton crews right now, so that's going to take a while.
All right, hey man, take the time. Take the time to get shit done. You know what I mean? All that shit that you said you were gonna do last year that you never did. Now's the time to do it.
Yeah,
That
pretty
pile of
much.
shit that you were like, hey, I'm gonna totally do this, and then never do it.
Well, here's the thing. I've got a number of guns that I want to start like repairing, but I don't have the tools for it right now, and I'm terrified of taking guns apart. Like I've got a Krankov that I've got to shut. Oh, here, let's get it in the light. I've got
So you
a
gotta get some light going there.
yeah, I've got a crank that
shit,
I'm going to be
I've never
dropping a
downstairs.
Gate Titan
Damn it, that
into
looks like
and a whole
mine.
new. Oh, it's great, dude. It's awesome.
It looks
But
like mine. So mine's gas blowback because somebody in the bottom right hand corner of my screen sold me it for a fucking penny.
like I was saying, we
still
drop
gotta-
Titan
I
into
still gotta
that. Put a
rebuild yours, or the one that I bought from you that was originally mine that I had bought from Rick.
Yeah, by the way,
That
Rick.
thing's been
Rick says
around.
fuck you, by the way.
What's that?
Rick says fuck you, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So,
But I'm gonna
gotta
convert it to an
find-
underfolder though.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
Ooh.
That's
we're
good
having this
aesthetic,
chat.
though. That's
Wow, I
good.
love how
Talking
two
earlier
people
about-
reacted
no, I-
positively and one person is negative.
I'm waiting for Garrett to just start stamping his own AK receivers. You know,
Garrett-
just-
The problem with an AK receiver is you have to heat treat it.
Mm.
Like once you fold it and then put the bridge pin and rivet the trunnions and everything, you have
Yeah.
to heat treat it. And I
Yeah.
absolutely I don't have the stuff to be able to fold
about-
an AK receiver.
Get your girlfriend's hair dryer. Just fucking blast that shit. I guarantee it's got industrial
get
setting.
a
Just
heat
fucking-
gun. You know.
As I said, the industrial setting only needs to get it up to 1700 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's fair. Hey man, I'm from Long Island. I've seen some fucking blowouts. I know what that shit can do.
Yeah, then I have to temper it. Then.
Oh my God,
yeah,
Jenny,
no,
I'm getting
so-
a parm.
Anybody watching from Long Island, by the way, that's for you guys.
Oh,
Good times.
Nice.
I used to grow up on the island. I hate it.
I have
love
no
you guys, but I hate
association
y'all.
with this.
I'm gonna get whacked
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
No,
I'm not from the gun gamers. Get me the fuck out of here. Got nothing to do with these guys at all.
No, it's good stuff, man.
Oh,
But yeah, no, it's been crazy. I feel like everybody's like borderline losing their minds, but like I think the thing that's been helping me going through this is planning. You know what I mean? Like whether it's like I was excited for Resident Evil 3 snuck up on me. That was a nice surprise. But like Doom Eternal, I knew was coming out. Eric and I were just sitting there, just banging out to the original Doom soundtrack like
Just
every day,
headbanging.
just like like we were having a great time with that. But like Doom Eternal I knew was coming out. Resident Evil snuck up on me. That was a great surprise. I'm enjoying that. I'm planning airsoft purchases. Again, schedule-wise, I'm not planning anything, but I know what I want to buy. I know what I want to work on. I've been working out a little bit at home, a tiny bit. I had to fisticuffs the spiders that had taken over my barbells, and they had been using them. So fucking 8 arms of strength I had to fight out.
I was gonna
Like-
say you're looking pretty buff.
Just lifting, you know. Yeah.
The
I
spiders down,
realized
they're
that
smoking cigars and lifting.
My life hasn't changed at all.
No, mine
since
hasn't either.
quarantine. I go out and I drive truck. The only thing interesting is that I quit my job because they stopped giving anybody work since November, so things got slow. It had nothing to do with COVID-19. But like because of COVID-19, even though I'm not making any money, I have 0 bills. So like secretly, this is actually better for me. Like it sucks. I feel really bad. But if it wasn't for COVID-19, I probably wouldn't have a truck or a home anymore. But
Dude,
thanks to that,
I'm in the same
did
boat,
the Canadian
man.
government go,
Yeah.
oh, sorry about this natural
oh,
disaster?
sorry about the
here."
COVID there.
Oh,
guys,
sorry.
but
Oh,
I,
fuck
at
yeah,
least-
bud. We got the
at
COVID.
least
We got
I
our Timmy
started a new
Holes.
job
We
on
got.
Monday. You taking my truck out for Rippy. I gotta go
Hold on,
for,
this wasn't a natural disaster. Some asshole ate something stupid that they really shouldn't have been eating.
Yeah.
That's not natural.
Yeah.
That's you decide to pull an Ozzy Osbourne and then infect
Sorry.
like 5 billion people with a virus.
Oops.
That's a little. Let's get real.
So,
here.
Yeah.
so here's the thing, Joe.
But it
The
was
reason
delicious.
why the company that I work for is staying open is because our customers consider this a natural disaster, and because it's a natural disaster, we have to remain open to provide products for them.
Natural
Yeah.
disaster
Nice.
it is. Got it. Anyway, yeah.
Not so much COVID related, but like all of my job security just comes from the fact that we're at war constantly. So it makes me feel kind of like a war profiteer, but it's also like, well, I mean, we're never not going to be at war, so I might as well take advantage of it.
You're basically you're basically a PMC for Metal Gear Solid 4.
Hell yeah, brother.
Just be proud.
Oh no. We don't use that terminology.
No,
He's-
PMC
he's
is fine. Mercenary is
Yeah.
not fine.
Right,
Private
right.
military
Mercenary is the bad one.
contractor and or
PMC is
defense
decent.
contractor is fine.
Yeah,
Got it. Defense contractor. Yeah. Real defensive.
yeah, it's all good.
Anyway.
Moving on.
Lovely beer. Oh, good times. Shit. Yeah, no. I'm trying to think.
So I
What other
will
games
say,
come-
I will say this: since I've had lots of time on the weekends, I've been slowly working on the BB project,
Okay.
Mm.
which I talked about.
Right,
I think
yeah.
3 streams ago, maybe.
Yeah. it's
That
true.
I was-
No, you fucking thing.
Well, I've been talking about it for months, but I hadn't like started it until like the last couple of weeks, and it's just like for people that don't realize how much time this is taking, I'm doing 50 BBs out of each brand weight that I have, what I have available to me. Each one of those, to get all the measurements and everything I need, takes an hour.
Oh.
I am up to 7 hours of work
So-
on this.
Garrett wants to big dick show up Eric for the mag video. And so he picked the most arduous bullshit I'm an engineer project he possibly could,
I did.
and that's what he's doing right now. But good for him, because honestly it's important actually.
Well, he gets to
I think
fuck
it's
around
really
with
Yeah, no, no,
calipers and scales and shit, and it's just
Micrometers, actually.
micrometers.
I mean,
Excuse me.
Micrometers is getting
I have an
tiny.
unbiased
Or-
opinion on this
or-
thing. This is probably a
or
good
no.
idea.
Three decimal places.
Measures
on
to
the
the
mics.
thousandth. Nice.
Holy.
Well, the thousandth of a millimeter.
Ooh. Oh wow. Jesus
That's
Christ.
Okay.
small.
Yeah, so one dick
and
length.
then-
would be-
And then
anyway,
the thousandth of a gram
Nice.
is what I.
so you have a Breaking Bad scale, is what you're saying.
If Breaking Bad had a scale that you could like barely fit a quarter on top of, yeah.
But have you
That was
determined
high.
which ones are biodegradable or not?
I do know which ones are biodegradable, just
Truly
because.
biodegradable.
Well, I don't know that.
Well, none of
And-
them are truly biodegradable.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. We covered that on the last podcast.
Yeah. Oh, this-
Spicy.
I wasn't in it, so.
Oh, Alphonse was getting
forgetful.
But
fired up.
The-
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything specific about the results that I have, other than what I have shared with the Gun Gamer guys as the things have progressed.
He's
It's
been
been
cock
interesting.
for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Well, no,
He's just
didn't
been
you see the
cock-teasing
graph
the chat.
that I sent?
No, I saw the graph.
It's interesting. So more
Gonna have
more
a
detail
whole
on that
Excel
later.
spreadsheet.
Expect the video at this rate that I keep going. Expect the video in September.
Perfect.
There you go. Right in time for Cyberpunk to come out and me not give a flying fuck about
when
BB.
right in time for airsoft season to actually
Yeah.
start this year.
Right in time.
We'll all
Right
know
in time
what
for
BB weights
Cyberpunk to get
use.
delayed.
Yeah.
Nice. Shit.
Suddenly,
Yeah.
one brand will be out of stock on BBs, and everyone else will have way too many.
Yeah.
Everyone
The
watch
fact that- the
Garrett's
fact- people
videos.
how many people do we got watching the chat, by the way, or the stream? Excuse me.
There's, not to call them out and make them all awkward, but there's 22 on YouTube.
28
That's not
total between YouTube and Twitch.
The fact that there are that many people that are actively still watching and like pay attention to the shit that's coming out of our mouths. Bravo.
I'm really sorry for them. You guys are
I
doing
know.
a great job.
Well, this is the thing is they're so goddamn bored being quarantined. At the time of quarantine, the quarantine is upon us, and they're so bored. They're like, fuck. I guess we'll watch the Gun Gamers.
Yeah,
I
We
cleaned
feel
out-
your pain.
I cleaned out my PC. I like cleaned like all the dust filters and shit like that.
My
I'm
kitchen's
bored.
spotless. My kitchen is
Yeah.
spotless. I have a toddler. My kitchen is spotless. It doesn't make
That's-
any sense.
That's
I
mind
collected
blowing
my
because when I
bicycle
was
from
there,
my brother's place that I left there 3 years ago. I'm gonna go ride bicycles and get in shape.
Where are you gonna ride your bike? You got nowhere to go.
We don't have that. Right now, I can leave the house and I can ride a bicycle around. As long as I don't touch anybody, I'm okay.
Just drive by your bike. Gotcha.
I ordered food.
and infected, and you can't catch me because I'm on a bike.
Yeah, I ordered
just
food
go
last
on
night, and
Venus.
they're doing the whole no contact food delivery thing. So the dude
So
leaves
yeah.
it. He like leaves it on my doorstep and like backs away, and then I come out with like one of those
Yeah.
fucking like 3M like airbrush masks.
The M50s.
Yeah, it looks like an M50, like the bottom half of an M50, and then
Yeah.
I've got like fucking mechanics gloves on. I'm just grabbing it and just walking back slowly. Oh, it was great. I couldn't
This
tip
is-
him because I'm not
it's
handing.
such a fucking- I'm gonna agree with something I've seen going around Instagram and Twitter. This is the worst fucking apocalypse. There's no zombies. There's no vampires. I thought there'd be way more mutants.
There's no
Like,
daywalkers for me to shoot,
sucks.
No,
or skinwalkers rather.
This is you know why apocalypse stories are exciting? Because this is real apocalypse. In real life, sucks way more.
well, in real life, it happens within the span of 3 days too. All of a sudden, half the world is fucking, meat-eating freaks. Where this time it's, we got to wait another 6 months for the virus to radically alter so people behave like bats and start trying to suck everyone's blood or something like that. So, fingers crossed.
Nice, real nice.
More
it's,
horrifying
it's-
comments in the Twitch chat. Excellent.
Oh, I believe it.
Oh,
believe it.
Yeah.
Pop them off. What do we got? Anything good?
Well, not questions, just statements. One dude said, don't think I have jacked off this much ever before. It sucks. Another guy asked.
Go to RIT.
Pornhub Premium out for free.
It is free.
Wait.
Oh man,
It doesn't
Dude,
affect me at all
biggest
because I
charity
paid for it to begin
organization
with.
in the
But
world.
Yeah.
Biggest charity
They actually-
organization.
it's
They
great,
actually
dude.
expect me to watch a video for an entire hour, like, fuck, free or not. I only end up watching about 45 seconds of it. What the hell's the matter?
La-
Yeah, that's with buffering time for you, buddy.
Yeah, that's 40 seconds of recovery time.
Someone said thoughts on skydiving into an airsoft op. That's kind of a meme comment because we had one gentleman asking it over and over again last podcast. But
Thoughts on who?
skydiving into an airsoft
Skydiving.
op.
So
Oh.
So I actually was talking to a pilot
Yeah.
and asking if it was possible for them to do a touch and go and to drop a package off in the middle of an airsoft game at a specific field that could actually fit the plane in.
Are you talking fixed wing or rotary wing?
Fixed wing.
Okay.
Fixed wing.
Okay.
Like just do a touch and go. Just come down, literally hover like right above the ground, drop a package out the window, and take off again. And I was talking about them doing that, and I have to find out if that would ever be possible because he would love to do it. Number one, he'd think it'd be a riot.
Well,
Number two, I think that'd be awesome.
I mean,
would be
rotary wing, like, I don't know. I just have a disdain towards airborne because of my time in the service. But if you could
But
do
it's-
like,
It's
if you-
not airborne. It's going from airborne to groundborne.
well, here's the thing. Here's what I like. I want to see air assault. Like, I want to see helicopters dropping people off from like spawn to like
okay.
an insert
I
point.
would
That'd be
love-
cool.
If I could do one little bird insertion, even though it's not little bird, if I could do one helicopter side insertion before I die in an airsoft game, that would be almost as happy as when I got knots.
Well,
I
I've
just
seen
like
it a
the
couple
cool
of
attraction
times
off the
done.
rooftop. That's all I care about.
Usually they charge you like $500 for one insertion.
Yeah.
It's like some obscene amount of money to just basically, oh, cool. Instead of me sneaking up and getting shot, now everybody knows where I am, and I'm getting shot the moment the helicopter flies away.
There's
Well,
an
they
event
did
promoter
it
in
during
Canada that does it.
They did
Third
it during
Coast, I
out in
think, does it.
Sweden. They did it
Yeah,
out in
they
Sweden
rent,
as part of
like,
like
a
a
helicopter
Vietnam
or
event where they had a Huey up and they were doing it with that, and that's pretty fucking sweet.
It's so amazing to have a Huey land and take off like less than 100 feet from you.
Well,
You
they did
immediately
that-
get Fortunate Son stuck in your head,
I
like
have
whether
to
it's
bring it
playing
up.
or not.
2008 Black Hawk Down game in Rochester, New York, where they had two Humvees, a medical Humvee, like one of the ones with the whole medical
Yeah, I know
cage
what you're
over
talking
it.
about.
And they had the National Guard brought in a UD-60, UD-60 land on the field. Still the coolest fucking shit we've ever seen.
We
UH-60s are
also
fun.
talk about how Dodge Caravans look an awful lot like Black Hawk helicopters from
You know
the front.
what doesn't look like it? A goddamn Penske truck. Does
Yeah,
not
no,
look
no,
like
don't
it.
use it. Yeah, no. That's I
Oh.
didn't realize it was the not particularly good Black Hawk Down games, but I thought I remembered they rigged like Dodge Caravans to look like Black Hawks, and then you could just drive them everywhere and park them, and it's like that kind of looks like a Black Hawk, at least the shape of an older Dodge Caravan's hood, like Nate's Dodge. Like, it's perfect.
The Twitch chat is going off shitting on me because I've never used my nods in a game before, and they're all like, "Okay, so when do I get to use your nods?" Better question: Who's
nods
next in
have
line
been
to
used
use
in
your
the
nods?
game
Can I
before,
steal your
yeah.
nods?
Yeah. When's the next time everyone else is gonna get to use Ian's nods?
When
That's
do
a-
I get to look through them?
Never.
I
they're-
offer anybody
They're
who
WP
wants to.
filmless, aren't they?
Okay.
They're
hold on.
20
Let me
UA
point out here.
white phosphor
Let me
film
point out, when
unfilmed.
Ian-
Yeah.
Yeah,
when Ian-
okay.
when Ian had to leave the show that we went to early because he's a little dude there with certain alcohol content quantities. I got a text saying I left my nods in your living room.
Yeah.
And I went within arm's reach of my 2-year-old.
It was in a
It's like, yeah.
it was in a hard
I
case,
messaged-
you know.
I messaged my wife immediately. I'm like, there's a black case. There's a black case. Don't open it. Put it out of arm's reach of the kid. And I got a text back like, okay, buddy. She put it on the stove, like away from my kid. I was honest, dude. My kid can open that Pelican case. He would just come home and he'd just be like, hey,
Well, they're sentinels, you know, or they're RNVGs,
No.
so they're tough.
They're
you know, they
RPGs.
can
They're
take it.
ruggedized.
Yeah, they are ruggedized.
But are they toddler proof?
they are
Like,
not.
there's not a whole lot of things on this earth that are toddler proof.
That's true.
Like,
You want to trash an armory? If you want to trash an armory, you airdrop a toddler in and just let him
Yeah.
rip. He won't hurt himself. He won't hurt himself. He'll destroy
no.
anything around him.
that's what we need. Is America just needs to start using tactical attack toddlers. We'll be good.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh,
Airdrop
in,
toddlers into Syria.
In adjacent, backing up to the helicopter thing, I'm working on my helicopter pilot impression.
Dude, I want to get
Nice.
one. I want to do like a. So for the next,
Yeah.
we were planning on doing MSATO if we weren't able to go to one of the. I think it was not Desolation, but Revenant.
It was,
Yeah,
Revenant.
A
'cause
couple
it's
of.
the same weekend, I think.
So
Or no,
Nate,
the weekend.
one
it is.
one of our good friends was gonna bring his piece of shit Dodge Grand Caravan, just like the
There we go,
biggest
right?
pile of
No,
garbage.
it's the turd. Literally
The,
called
Yeah.
the golden
Yeah.
turd, and we were planning on running M60s out the doors like it was a helicopter and putting a ceiling fan on the top of it.
Looks an awful lot like a Black Hawk.
Well, and I wanted to get one of those like helicopter door gunner helmets, you know, the ones that like have the
Hold on, I know this. HBU 55A.
I think it's something. Yeah, I think it's something. That sounds about right. But I was gonna paint
I
it so it
think
had
that's
like
what
the
it is.
American flag coming down the back of the helmet. You know, it was gonna be so sick,
Oh.
just blasting death metal as we're just hauling ass in this piece of
I ha-
shit Dodge Grand Caravan.
If you do that pilot kit, you're going to wind up being an objective. It's going to happen. You're going to be the down pilot, and
I don't care. I want to do that.
I
Yeah,
am going to
I'll sit there
drag your fucking ass,
dragged.
at the back of your vest, through every bush, pricker bush, snake den, gravel, anything I can drag your ass through. I am going to ruin that jumpsuit between where I pick you up and where I get you.
And
And
The
I'm gonna
shittier
be
it
the
looks,
pilot
the
that
better.
can Drag my
As
350-pound ass.
I
As
can
long
drag-
as I can do it with an MP5, that's all I care about.
Oh yes.
Okay, what's his
Like,
fucking name?
Triangle handguard.
Mike Durant.
Yeah, I like Ryan.
Mike Durant.
Good times, real good times.
But no, I do have. I'm
That's-
gonna paint my helmet. I'm gonna do like it's gonna be semi-futuristic-y, but I got a pilot's vest, survival vest coming.
I
A
want to
couple
know
of
who
things.
owns the rights to it. I want to know who owns the rights to it. I want to see a fucking Black Hawk Down remaster. I want to see a new Black Hawk Down game. That's what
I feel like there was
Yeah.
like THQ or something like that.
It was THQ, which they are now. They're no longer around.
No, I think they're
Yeah.
owned by 2K Games now.
Yeah.
Oh Fucking
But
I
yeah.
didn't realize there was a Black
God
Hawk Down game.
damn it.
Oh yes, it is.
Wow.
It is so early, or is it? Was it early
Let me do it.
2000s or is it late 90s?
Well, he
It's
was
PS2.
like- well, yeah.
PS2
no,
was
it
released in 2000, so it was going to be PS2 game or
Wait,
early
If
2000s.
we're going to talk about remastering PS2 games, I just want the SOCOM series to come back.
So
I mean,
there's actually
there's
a
enough
spiritual
modernization,
successor to
like-
that. H Hour came out. It's not great, but it's enough
Oh.
of a spiritual successor
Well-
to be all right.
And how do you feel about the Ghost Recon games then?
I love them.
Yes.
I haven't played like the old school Ghost Recon games in a long time, but apparently they're on PC for like $2 or $3.
Oh yeah, no, you can get the whole. There's a collection.
Yeah.
You can just buy the whole
You
collection.
can get
and-
Rainbow
like,
Six Vegas for like $8
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
That's another
Joe.
game. I'd love to see a Rainbow Six 3. That would be amazing.
Oh, they're not going
Joe,
to do
have
another
you seen
Vegas. They're
the-
not going to
have
be.
you seen the? Have you seen somebody play through Delta Force Black Hawk Down in 4K?
Yes,
No.
actually, I have. There's
It's-
texture mods you can get. That
yes,
Yeah.
there's a fucking Delta Force game. That's right.
Yeah.
So one thing I was going to bring up is that they're not going to be doing a Vegas 3, especially after the shooting in 2017. Like, there's no
Yeah.
fucking way.
I can believe that. I think honestly, I would like to see a more traditional Rainbow Six game, anyways.
Half of
Yeah.
Vegas 2 took place in Mexico.
True.
Yeah.
They've got plenty of shootings as well.
Huh.
Imagine that.
Don't say.
No, I still
That was-
remember
oh,
the
it's 9
original
o'clock.
Rainbow
Jeez,
Six.
wow, we've
on
already hit that
Nintendo
hour.
64.
Holy shit.
Yeah, time flies
Yeah.
when you start talking about video games.
It's true. It's
Well,
true. I feel like
There's
that's
also
what we're gonna be
solid like
talking about.
10 minutes of that was just like intro with like random non-copyrighted music that I could find so I don't
Well,
get
then that's-
struck.
That means. at
But
least
yeah,
have-
I think
talk
like
about
this
video
is going to be. I think this is definitely. This is going to be where it's going to be going for the next couple of months. It's going to be a lot more, games. Probably talking about projects that we're working on, because this is not like when things. I'm not buying anything right now, partially because I am not going to be contributing to an already taxed transportation system in any country right now. I'm not buying. I have the money. I'm not. I want to put together a 1911 project directly influenced by my build in Modern Warfare. I'm not buying anything from other countries right now. I'm sitting and waiting. There's no reason for me to put in an e-bike order or an amp order or anything else.
It's not going to show up. Yeah, it's going to take forever.
It's not going to
I've
show up.
only-
It's going to take forever. Just wait until shit settles down, and then I'll start working on projects again. So
I've
I can
only
talk.
bought one thing from overseas, and the current lead time is 19 to 36 days.
Nice. Ooh,
So-
shit.
And I basically said, you know what? When it gets here, it gets here.
Yeah.
And literally all it is, it's actually for the pilot setup, because I have a cheap pilot helmet, and I'm gonna put an FMA Anvis mount on the front. I'm just gonna JB weld it to the front just so it has the appearance.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I had.
but
I was gonna say that I have the same issue, except it's from a U.S. company. I ordered a Desert Tiger Stripe SPAV W from MOS Tactical, and it has been. I ordered that in November, and it still has not arrived. Well,
Don't mind me.
the lead
You
time.
got to unblur there, buddy.
Yeah, you gotta unblur.
unblurred as shit right now.
I'm fucking
Hey,
with
you
somebody
just-
in the chat.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say you're
Don't mind me.
Japanese censoring. You're Japanese censoring your whole barrel
Oh
there. buddy.
Jesus!
That's fine.
But like I was
But,
saying,
yeah, no.
it's like it was like a 3-month lead time. They're like, oh, guess what struck right as we were supposed to start putting it together full time. Fucking COVID-19. So now I have to wait on that DTS plate carrier. Yeah, very sad.
Oh,
Honestly,
I want the,
I can still. The important thing is my family can still get medical supplies. We can still get
That's important. Yeah.
basic supplies and food and everything else. I'm not bitching. I recognize that when I do put in an order, it does put tax on the system. There's no reason to do that. You know what I mean?
you
So
don't
I-
need it right now.
Right.
So,
And that's a personal thing. Like some people be like, fuck this. I'm stuck in my house. I want to work on airsoft guns and build projects. If
So-
that's what you need to do to keep yourself mentally sane, by all means. I just personally know I have years of shit that I could be working on that now I actually have no excuse to not work on.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
$1,000 worth of Warhammer painting that I've been putting
Oh,
most of the copies,
Jesus.
shit like that. You know what I
Oh.
mean?
There's a guy chat on Twitch who asked whether or not my plate carrier is made out of Cordura. It's not actually Cordura. It's 50/50 Nyko that's been laminated to 420 denier. So it's going to have
Ooh.
similar build to like Cordura, but it's not technically Cordura.
It's not as the base material isn't as heavy.
No, it's
But
not
it's
as heavy, but it's
laminated.
laminated, yeah.
Okay. I
Oh.
have a couple of model kits that have just been laying around, and I'm looking at one, and that's probably going to be at least 4 or 5 days.
Tells Alexander the Great. He's looking at whatever the fuck you're looking at. Cool. I think I've covered everything I wanted to yap about. I know I talked a shit ton tonight. Thank you three for letting me rant about
man.
Resident Evil Classic Gaming. That was fun.
Time flies,
I think
man.
I've got
It was
my
great.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything else specifically. I mean, other than Bannerlord,
we have
and
any
I could talk for
questions?
Bannerlord. Yeah, do we have any questions in
I mean,
chat?
there are demands for me to smuggle people into Canada and/or give away some of my guns, but that was why I started waving my Classic Army LWRC
Yeah, dude, that's a
M682
flex.
across the screen.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I have always wanted one of those.
It's fabulous. It needs, like, I mean, it's a 10-year-old rifle,
So,
it kind of needs.
it's-
like,
couple
it's
more
tired.
questions. Couple more questions in chat.
Yeah.
Basically, when's my G-Gar arriving? I already got it. Someone asked where I got DTS fabric, so you can just get it from TrueSpec. I don't know where exactly they got it because I'm not the one who acquired it, but I'm pretty certain what
I think
they
it's
did
the
was
Tiger Stripe company.
yeah, they probably got it from the Tiger Stripe company itself. I wouldn't be surprised.
Dan, you need to
Right there.
Where
unblur.
did Dan go?
Either
Is it
that,
really the blur?
Yes, it
remember
literally
how to
blurs
blur.
the camouflage.
I gotta remember how to do that.
I was
There
gonna say
it is.
either that or
Yeah,
they
right
took
there.
like 50/50
That
Nyko
better?
XL like shirts like that, and
Yeah,
they cut them
and they
up
cut 'em
into
apart.
yeah.
Well, that's how anybody gets Desert Night camouflage pattern stuff. They take old.
I'm pretty
Desert
sure they're
Night
printing it
parkas.
now.
Some things they are. They're doing
Velcro.
loop fields now. They're doing webbing now. Somebody does do a 600D print, I think.
Nice.
Print material, Cordura, but it's also like not cheap.
Well, there's a lot of like surplus fucking like Desert Night camo parkas on the market anyway, so you know, might as well get one
Which
of those.
it always pains me when people say, "Oh yeah, I just take one of these parkas and just like take it in because it's too big." It's supposed to be that way. It's a piece of history, man. That's why I have the medium regular tucked away in the basement here somewhere, just so I can keep it preserved.
Preserved for history's sake.
Well, I know that they're
because that stuff shows up in like the early OIF period because the night parka I wore it as a winter coat one day. It was like 40 degrees outside, and I put this parka on with just like a t-shirt and jeans underneath it. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty comfortable
yeah.
because it's got a
Yeah.
liner on the inside.
That's like me testing my Russian waterproof set that I got off of eBay. And so my
Nice.
neighbor's just like standing at his window with a cup of coffee, watching me just walk around in the rain in my backyard in Russian camo. And dude's like, all right, my neighbor's fucking weird, but
Yeah.
I'm just gonna not
Well,
acknowledge
I know
that.
DNC
go.
I know DNC was like originally like created in like the I want to say like late 70s or early 80s, and I got its first field trials during Desert Storm.
But yeah, good
Yeah.
fucking times.
Also,
Go ahead.
I was
questions?
gonna say thank you, Joe, for all that Russian Digiflora stuff that I got because it's
Oh.
been fabulous.
Oh, we never told this story. We've never
Oh.
told this story before. So I wanted to do a Ratnik kit, and I have a 99% Ratnik kit. I just need a helmet. Those are easy to get. I just right now not the time. So I'm basically I have a fucking. I'm gonna do a whole. I actually should do pictures of it or a video on it because I did a whole legitimate 2016 Digiflora Ratnik kit, and it's awesome and it's heavy as fuck, and I
Do it.
love it, and I'm gonna
Please do it.
overheat it and die. But not the point. I bought it off a guy off eBay, and the guy was really cool, and so well, I bought the it was the I forget the Russian. Oh God, I forgot all the stuff. It's like
Yeah,
it's just SH 115 117 whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Oh, the
it's a
6B
webbing-
1112 or 112, or this is the
It's
117.
the next version, whatever the
The
latest. version is.
117.
Yeah. So it's webbing vest. It came with all the pouches. It came with a medium-sized medical bag. It was probably on other websites like $400 or $500 worth of shit, and this guy was selling on eBay for 200 shipped. Fuck yeah, buddy! Bought it. What happened is he shipped it. I got a shipping notification. No big deal. Like 2-3 weeks go by, and when it hit the edge of Russia to go out, it disappeared. It just
Oh.
disappeared. And
Disappear in
couldn't
Gulag?
it pulled up price and it disappeared and we couldn't find it. And so I was messaging the guy, and the guy's like, all right, look, we'll wait on, let's figure out tracking and that kind of thing. And and he was pinging his shipping company. I was pinging, I think, USPS or UPS was shipping it from wherever it was in Europe, and it was getting handed off to them. Couldn't find it, and finally I went to the dude. I'm like, look, this is not going to work. He goes, okay, I'm gonna send you a new vest. I said, look, here's the deal. You send me a new vest. If the other one shows up for any reason, I'll send it back or we'll figure something else out. He sends me the new vest. He expedites it, right? He doesn't make me pay for shipping or anything. And he gets it. He sends it out. I get the shipping notification. The next day, the other vest pops back up. And we're both like, are you fucking kidding me? So he goes, all right. It was going to cost me like $75 to ship it back to Russia.
Ooh.
And I'm like, this is going to be stupid. So I went, okay, give me a day. I have some other friends that are interested in gear like this. Let me talk. And I basically posted to the Gun Gamers and Field chats. I was like, hey, I got this full Russian set. I will sell it to you. I sold it to Dan, and Dan bought it at cost. You basically saved shipping. I ate the shipping on the vest, basically.
Thank you.
Which, not a big deal because I saved myself over $200 essentially. All of it. But that's what wound up happening is literally the day after he sends out my new vest to replace it, it showed up in shipping. It was there. Like I had 2 sets of these vests. I was so pissed. But luckily, Dan was happy to pick it up. And you love it, right?
I use it the entire time for Saratov. It was fantastic.
Yeah, they're a great set. They actually really are. The problem is the Russians don't do adjustable like other like I don't want to say modern, but the Russians are behind in what we would consider to be NATO spec for stuff. So it's all a system of straps that you can adjust.
Yeah.
My straps are fully maxed, and this thing is like tight up against me. You know what I mean? Dan was just like, all right, and just undid the straps and
it's gonna loosen everything to.
But no, it was a really nice
guy sizes.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, no.
You and I have the same problem.
Yeah.
We're medium plates, but small everything else.
Oh.
Yeah, so gotta protect the guts. Yeah, no, that was a thing. I forgot about that happening because I sold you that vest at Omega, right?
Yeah, I picked it up at Perdition.
Yeah, it was more than a couple months ago.
Fuck, it's almost a year ago.
Well, it's also made to sit over
Perdition was
armor,
in,
isn't it?
July?
Yeah, and well, you'll see a lot of Russian. When you look at pictures like Ratnik hits and that kind of thing, 99% of the time it's over a 6B47.
That's what the
45.
Ford.
Yeah, no, it's not the Ford. It's made by Techcom. Garrett, you probably know the company, Techcom, or whatever that is. And that's their soft armor with plate insert thing, and it's meant to sit over that. But you'll see a lot of recce or recon groups, or like when Wagner
yes, the Wangers
does their thing. You'll see a lot of them just wearing it as a standalone kit, which is great too. Yeah. Because that's part of the reason why I bought it is when Kyle and I do bullshit Russian recce shit, I just wear the vest. And then when I do full Ratnik kit, wear it with my AK, or when I'm eventually getting one of those new LCT RPK 16s.
Yes.
That's gonna be a full kit. That's gonna be the vest and the helmet, full on kit.
What I did at Saratov.
I think the best way to describe it is it's scalable, depending on what you're trying to do. Like you can give the same kit to every single trooper in your armed forces, and they can decide based on their mission profile, okay, do I want all this stuff or half of this stuff?
Yeah, because it is still a Molly.
It is really still shooter's preference.
Yeah. I found it was. Yeah, it was comfortable. It held everything I needed. Because he gave me that extra, like that larger. I don't know if it's technically the medical bag, but like the kind of the fanny pouch.
Yeah.
And I ended up for like.
That came with it wasn't I'm sorry, the medical bag is specifically 40 liters, I think, or 35 liters, something like that. The bag that you and I have is like 25 liters, but it came with like a 7-liter ass pouch.
Yeah,
so
that's the one.
Ass pouch all the way down and flatten it, and then you have your backpack, your ruck over that.
Yeah.
You can then drop the ruck, have the smaller bag and your ass pouch, and then you're carrying an extra 30 pounds of shit, or 30 liters of shit.
I found once we established a PB, I was even dropping the assault pack and just anything like I needed immediately just went to that ass pouch, and I was totally fine to run around with that.
Reach down to that ass.
Just reaching into my ass. Yep. Digging things out. Oh man.
Sounds like the
M&Ms. A lot of M&Ms in there.
What is it? What's the? I have a Smersh from like 2005, I think, is the date on it. But it has the butt pack that allows you to flip it over top of you, and you can access the contents and then flip it over.
Yeah.
So one of the
do that with the Sorry, go ahead.
One of the really cool things that a lot of Russian gear companies are doing right now, like Raid Gear especially, they're copying the shit out of Cry, but what they're doing with it is they're making laser cut like CPCs and laser cut AVSs, which is just the dopest shit ever, and I want a laser cut CPC so fucking badly.
I do. The laser cut AVS does look kind of awesome.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about Russian quality. I will tell you right now that the Russian, like I'm sure Dan can attest to this, like it wears quickly. It will fray quickly. You will be doing. There's a reason why the Russians are all given a much more. I was talking to Matt Hay about this. Russians are given, every individual soldier is given a pretty substantial repair kit for uniforms, and it's a lot more sewing material, a lot more different options for sewing, because their shit falls apart a lot faster. So a word of warning for people that are looking at like Gray Shop and that kind of thing and seeing these Cry knockoffs and that kind of thing, and that's what they are. They're copies. They will not have the same build quality. Perfect for airsoft, I guarantee it.
It'll last
But if you
forever with
just-
airsoft, but yeah.
Yeah, the Digiflora, like I can't remember what it was, the Pixelica uniform or something off a Gray Shop. It was ripstop, and it worked fine the entire weekend. And I have a bad habit of blowing out the crotches of pants. I had one pocket start to tear because I think I was trying to jam like M&M wrappers in there
I was gonna
while
say,
getting shot at or something. Like,
If you run it hard, then it's gonna fail. But
Yeah.
for general airsoft use, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it'll
and
be
even then, like,
unless you're
with
Skull
the-
Dragon, you're not gonna have issues.
Yeah,
With
I've,
the
Garrett,
rip
I'll see
stop.
you in that pilot kit, buddy.
with the ripstop,
man,
the pocket
I've had
tore
that
a little
flight
bit.
suit
That's fine.
forever.
Good shit. Good shit. Any other questions coming out of the streams right now?
Yeah, if anyone has a question in chat, feel free to hit us up, and we'll make sure to answer it, man.
Probably
I
in a
think
couple minutes.
you want
I
to
gotta
call? We'll
peace
call
out,
another
though.
10 minutes.
Yeah, let's
call
give it
another
10
and then
minutes.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it worked really well at Saratov. I found a way to get the kit to work like for me,
Right.
and there were lots of room for M&Ms and Skittles and everything that came with the MREs that I got.
The next thing that I'm working on, in addition to the pilot kit, because I've got probably like half of that ready to go, is a low vis kit to go
Okay.
from like hidden plate carrier, and then be
Oh.
able to like go from that to overt direct action.
Okay.
That's next on my list, and that's only because I want to buy a Spiritus LV119 in Wolf Gray.
Good luck finding it, dude. They sell out of shit so fucking fast.
Oh, I know. I'm in the group. I see all the alerts, and I have all the alerts and everything set up. It's
Oh, the
just a
symptoms
question
group.
of
Oh my
timing.
god.
Yeah,
Mm.
That's
some of those guys
the,
are funny, but some of them just suck.
some of them are really cancerous. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you fucking airsofters buying all this shit. It's like, dude, if you need permission for your wife to buy this shit, you don't need it either. Fuck off.
If you really needed it and your military unit allowed you to have it, you would have it. If you're a civilian, guess what? You can wait in line like the rest of us.
Honestly, buy
Yeah.
a
That's
Slickster.
Literally,
Like your best bet is buying a Slickster, if anything, if you're having issues finding a 119.
I have never heard of a professional equipment manufacturer, regardless of who they are, of any quality, bitching about people buying their stuff.
no. The issue isn't that Spiritus complains about the fact that people are buying this stuff. The issue with them is that they constantly get asked, "When is this restocking? When is this restocking? When is this
Yeah.
restocking?" And like they've said multiple times, and it's been true every single time that I've looked at it. You can expect things to restock when they go out of stock 30 to 60 days.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
there's
straightforward.
more. So in addition to that, they also have to fulfill contracts. They still have to do other things. And while they're open now, who knows what's going to happen in the future?
And just remember, if you find something that you like and you have a good idea and it's not in stock anywhere, you can always contact Matt Hay from Engage Tactical and have a
Mhm.
custom piece of gear created for you that will fit you and be of the highest American quality.
It is a piece of custom tactical nylon for your tactical nylon needs. Yeah, there we go.
This podcast brought to you by Engage Tactical.
I think the best part is Matt's getting fucking bored, and so he's just like sewing and putting together shit that he just like. He goes, I'm gonna try doing this.
Let's give it a
started making
shot.
wallets.
Yeah.
It's just
So-
like fuck it, I'm gonna do.
There
It's
are a few
great.
questions. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
There are a few questions in the YouTube here. The first question by me is Ian going to take his shirt off?
No.
Oh, unfortunately, there we go.
Keep donating it to it, and you'll get there eventually.
There you go. Joe will do it. Joe will do it for free.
You assume
Uh,
I'm wearing pants right now.
Oh, that's fine. The real question is who still has their first airsoft replicas? That comes from Pay Me No Mind.
Ooh,
Oh,
I
no.
No.
Absolutely
my
I
not.
sure do.
My TMM4 is currently in a bag downstairs, completely disassembled, where it will probably remain there until I throw it out or donate it to somebody for some stupid sleeper rifle.
So
I
if
still
we're
have my
talking
original.
about the first gun that I ever bought, that was gonna be like either one of those Springer like Cybergun Sig 226s. That was clear
Wait
as
a minute,
fuck.
Dan.
Yeah.
Who did you buy that from?
This I bought off of another Canadian. It's a Classic Army full-length G36, and I paid $650 for it used, and it was a steal of a deal.
Because I had that exact same thing in like 2012,
This would
and I
have been
sold it to a guy.
it would have been bought around the same time, but I bought it from a Canadian.
Oh, okay.
West. And it was a steal of a deal at the time. It doesn't have a connector in it right now because I was going to wire it to Dean's and then realized I'm a fucking
Oh yeah,
idiot.
mine was already wired to Dean's.
But I do
Sorry,
still
buddy.
have my first
It would have been
AEG.
funny because like that's technically not the correct G36E flash hider. It's the K, and I did the exact
Yeah.
same thing with mine. I put the K flash hider on.
I did. That's what it came with. That was like I got that gun, and like a lot of people, like the only thing I had done, and I do thank myself for this, is the research to like enough research to know that I didn't want a sniper rifle, but not enough to know that I don't want a G36 as my first AEG because I have nowhere to put mags. But it worked. It shot well. The thing only shoots like 300 FPS, but it was because of the barrel length. It shot really well, and
Yeah,
I
mine
still
was
have it.
mine was hopping 2.8s out to 200 feet.
yeah, I think I always ran 2.5s because again, I
And
knew
this was
that
before
twos were too light.
before like 3.2s were taken on
yeah.
and stuff, and like 4s were
back
even
in the good
a
old
thing.
days.
So
I know.
there's a couple more questions in chat. Is there a place where you guys post where you guys go and play ahead of, or where you guys are going to be playing ahead of time? If you go to the discussion group on Facebook, which is linked in my Twitch if you want to go follow over there, twitch.tv/IanGunGamers. But yeah, discussion group. We're normally talking about what events we're going to. So yeah,
And if not there, probably the Facebook page too.
yeah, the Facebook page
Yeah.
itself,
I think
the Discord
is
maybe.
notoriously unreliable.
Yeah,
We
Yes.
mostly just talk about things we hate.
we just shit post.
Yeah.
Any current gas blowback guns you wish were also AEGs? Joe, for you, I'm assuming it's the FAL.
Wait, hold
Wait,
on.
no,
wait.
other way
Only
around.
gas guns?
Other way
Oh,
around.
okay.
Okay.
Is
The
it-
only other, well, no. So so there's a long-standing joke about the FAL. We're gonna leave that one. We're gonna leave that one alone for a minute. We'll actually talk about another gun. A&K was gonna release that gas blowback 249, and then disappeared. Totally disappeared. Stopped talking
Yeah.
about it. Didn't
that
even
would have
like.
been cool.
They don't even acknowledge it anymore. I would have loved that. Even if it tore itself apart on the first game, I still would have loved it just for the fun of it. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So other than that, I think if you can get a gas blowback saw, even if it's HPA powered, but actually like has a recoil mechanism, I would be hot to try.
no, it's current
Yeah.
gas blowback guns that you wish were also AEGs.
Example Uzi.
Yeah, Uzi. For me, it'd be like a Mac 10, I guess.
No, I think
Yeah.
SMGs
No.
have to be gas blowback.
My
Like,
Mac 10 is
SMG is a
pretty good
gas
as a gas
blowback
blowback.
gun. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on the SMG. Like an MP5, yeah, that's fine as an AEG. Clearly, a Mac 10 or like an Uzi, they're really tough because of the space
Or
constraint.
an MP9.
Yeah.
Or yeah, an MP9 is kind of the same way. They almost have to
There's so,
be.
what guns are? Humor me for a second. What guns are gas exclusive right now?
I think Mach 11s and Mach 10s are. I don't know if there's
MP9s.
an AEG version.
Mach?
Is
Yeah.
it trash?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I've,
Mach
small
or
SMG.
Mac?
Canadian. He's
It's-
Canadian.
I know.
What else? Aside from small SMGs, is there anything else that's gas only?
No,
uh,
everything pretty much has an AEG variant.
Yeah.
well, there's certain guns that are just better as like even
You know what I
full length
would like?
rifles. Go ahead.
You know what I would like?
You used to be able to say
MCX.
Ooh, gas
Yes.
blowback MCX would be sweet.
Gas blowback MCX would be
Honestly,
awesome.
actually, you know what? Hey, I'll go it this way. I wish there was a recoil, like an actual gas blowback M82A1 that wasn't the shell ejecting one from SOCOM Gear.
Oh, those were sick back in
Yeah.
the day. Oh my
Since
god.
you
But they
brought
had-
it up.
No hop up, no hop. Yeah, there you go. No hop up and no accuracy. The thing was
No.
a piece of shit.
Prepare
It's
to
I
fucking
would love to see
hilarious
that.
though.
There you go.
Look at that
That's hot.
transparent lower receiver.
Oh man.
That's this a Canadian legal
That's
back in the
hilarious.
day. SKSC Mach 11.
Someone was asking
Oh,
me how I like
man.
my MAS Vanguard, which is like the Maple Armory's Mark 18. It's good. It shoots really, really well. I haven't done anything to it, and it's fine. You know, it's real cool.
Oh, hey, someone buy my Block 2.
Oh yeah, buys Block 2, which I sold to him. It's basically just like
And
a
I still
throw-in.
haven't gotten yet.
Guys,
Yeah,
pass
it's
guns
true.
around so much.
So I'm gonna
Brutal.
plug that one real quick. Someone buy my Block 2. I'll sell it for relatively cheap. It just
Well,
needs wiring
that
harness.
stoner
I'll
that I
tell-
got, like the stoner that you got, I got from James, and he got
Hold on
from
one second, guys. I'll
Lutz.
be right back.
But I traded James a 416A5 for that stoner. I'm like, yeah, he's getting a better deal, but I'm gonna have fun with the stoner. I'm like, I have no need for this. Why did I get this? it's
I
just
sold my Mark 46 that was the pride and joy of my armory for 5 years. I sold that to a Gun Gamers associate. For,
if I had a stoner
uh,
63, I'd never sell it. But like stoner 96,
well, that Mark 46
yeah.
was like my gun.
I-
The reason why I was actually okay with it is VFC announced the Mark 48, and I was just like, I don't need this Mark 46 anymore. If I'm
Wait,
buying a Mark
VFC's
48.
releasing a Mark 48?
Dude, have you not been paying attention?
Dude, I was in Afghanistan for like 7 months. I wasn't paying attention to airsoft when I was there.
Yeah, bullshit.
What?
You were messaging us every opportunity you could.
That's
Anyway.
true. When do we
Anyways,
get a
yeah, no,
Swedish
VFC
K also?
VFC is releasing.
Ooh, you know what would be cool? An AK-5.
Well, they
Here,
did an
also-
AG version of that. They did the FNC, didn't they?
They did, but it's not a
Yeah.
GBR.
Yeah, true.
There we go.
Since Airlocks asked, I do own an ACR.
I know
Oh,
I
people-
have two.
It's a gas one, but it is an ACR.
I also have two of those.
Well, they did a gas Sten recently, and I've heard
Yeah.
mixed reviews on it. I love the Sten, even though it's a huge
Oh,
piece of
Costs
shit.
Like $340.
Yeah, it's
basically just a
expensive.
weld piece of metal.
It's
John
okay.
Vollen has one. He used it Desolation 2, apparently.
Yeah,
Uh,
I shot it. I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is.
I want
Is
a
it
gas
$380
Swedish K.
worth of what it is?
In my opinion, no. But if you really want something neat for World War II, and you really, really, really want a Sten, that's pretty much going to be it.
That'd be the only reason
That's
I'd
fair.
buy it. I mean, I've
I
bought a
think we should
lot of
just-
really stupid shit. Like, here's another example of it. I bought the Shogun's TT33 with the
so
underslung
bad.
shotgun.
Wait, is
This
this
was-
the first year you've known that he has this? I thought everybody
Yeah,
knew.
I
he
This
had
was
it.
$450. so
All he does is
Insane.
try to sell it to people.
But I also love Kingsman. It's one of my favorite fucking movies.
Well, shit.
Oh, dude, you got to bring that next time. I want to shoot that.
this is going to Matt Hay. I'm training it for Janice.
Oh, he did take. Oh man, I would have figured you'd known about that.
No, dude, I totally
Oh,
met a loop
shit.
on that. That pisses me off. I want one of those really,
and also-
really.
Message Matt Hay, I guess.
It also comes with one of these.
Oh, it came with a letter. Oh,
Yeah.
that's like my Mateba. Oh,
It's
yeah,
all, like,
everybody-
it's got the
everybody
little-
in the chat. Everybody in the chat, spam F for my Mateba. That was stolen out of my
Oh,
house.
that
was one
sucks.
of the-
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That was one of the old 8mm Matebas, the heavyweight wood ones that got
Yeah.
stolen out of my house. Mash F for that because I'm never seeing that again.
Was that like?
Joe,
is that
I
like
have
the only
come
person they
that
stole?
close to finding you a replacement.
I would rather at this point just buy one of the new ones that's 6mm that takes the more common shells at this point.
Yeah. Well, no,
I
that's
thought
what
8mm
they were. They were both 6mm.
Wow.
I was trying to find one because like every time,
Yeah,
occasionally
you
somebody
can.
pops up, they're like, "Oh, hey, here's a Mateba that I'm looking to sell."
Now, Red Wolf gets them once in a while. And people still get them once in a while. And they
What is
take
that,
the
Marushan or
eggshells.
Tanaka?
Oh,
Marushan.
Gotcha.
Marushan did.
You
Yeah.
can still get them. They're not bad. I haven't justified getting it yet because, in all honesty with you, like I bought the hater.
Yeah.
Well, at the same
I
time,
want a
too, like,
hater.
it was always a wall hanger as far as I knew when you had it.
Well, yeah, because I only got to use it like twice at AT because it's a fucking 8mm 6-shell manual load. I only had 6 shells for it. It was a pocket rocket to pull out and blast somebody in the face with point blank range to 8mm. That's all it was. But
There's certain
anyway, cool.
there's certain guns that I wish they would like make like no one's made a Swedish K or the what's it M45 Carl Gustav or even the Smith and Wesson M76 version of it.
Mhm.
M/45.
Yeah.
Or if
Yeah.
you're Smith and Wesson, it's the M76.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad that no one's created one of those because they're fucking sweet. Like they're,
Honestly, this
So-
it
Go
feels
ahead.
weird to have to bring up, but like I want to see companies start making more like traditional again, like that early 2000s, late 90s aesthetic firearms. Like
VFC.
Everything's going
VFC
Gucci.
VFC released their new old school SOCOM builds. You
Yeah,
can get a Knight's Armament
Yeah.
with the old school A2 stock or with the classic stock. Like some companies are touching on that.
There-
which I'm
it's just a
kind
lot of companies are going towards like the Super Gucci, like race guns, basically, right?
Yeah.
of- Modern
Well, the sad
It's-
part
it-
about it is that like
it's
you don't.
what's popular.
Well,
You
it's
don't
always
s-
influenced by movies and games. Whatever's hot
Yeah.
to try is what they're going to be working on.
Well,
No-
friggin'
nobody's done
John
anything
Wick
like
made
how
BCC so friggin' hip.
Nobody's done anything like how
Thankful ARs.
Brownells has done like the AR
Retro.
series. Yeah, retro
Oh,
ARs.
God.
I'd love to see a
They did
like
the
a
retro-
AR 605 or like the Colt 605 version
I'd like-
of the.
An AR 180 would be cool.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no one's gonna buy it. That's the thing. Same thing with like the
I'd
older.
buy it. I would 100% buy
I
one.
know.
Just for
I
airs.
kind of want to get my hands on the ASG-CZ Bren. that came out.
Talk
I
to
just-
Kyle about that.
Yeah, talk
one.
to
Just
Kyle
not-
about that
Yeah,
one.
I wasn't too sure how that would go.
Talk to Kyle.
Yeah,
Just talk to Kyle. You'll figure
didn't
that
go
out.
over well.
Anyway, it is about that time. Do we have any? Can we wrap up with one more question?
Yeah, let's see if we got
Stuff on
anything.
YouTube, I don't think.
Yeah, that kind of looks like it's about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, Gun Gamers Podcast episode 10. It's been real, solid hour and a half of banter. So, y'all take it easy.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Have a good night,
Adios.
everybody. Stay safe. Be
Love you,
safe.
bye.
Bye.